Boom, coming in hot, Chinch. What's going on, brother?
Coming in hot, man. I always wear the Converse All-Star shirt when we have an All-Star on. So who's the All-Star?
Dude, we got a big-time All-Star on here. I've been waiting to have this guy on for a long time. Good buddy of mine, Cincinnati. Listen, one of the best comedians, I think, out there. Hands down, has a great new special called Fat Ryan coming out. It's already out on Disruptor Comedy. It's going to be out soon on iTunes and all that great stuff. But this guy's traveled the world, Chinch. He's traveled. He's been in every comedy club you can be. Specials on Comedy Central. He's had specials pretty much everywhere. You could find this guy. But one of my favorite guys in the world, my man, comedian Josh Sneed. What's up, Sneed? How you doing, dude?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How's everything going?
Everything's fantastic. Everything's fantastic. I got the new special out. The Reds are in contention. Life's good, man. I can't say that every July. I can say it this July.
Dude.
Guys, Case, I got to tell you something. I kind of saved this to tell you, but with Josh here, today is our 800th episode of the Mayor's Office.
Oh, let's go. We got Sneed on for 800.
That is big.
Dude.
That is big.
That's great. That's big all around.
There you go. I just want to let you know that before you moved on here.
Oh, that's great. I was telling my son that the other day. I go, I know we're right around 800 episodes. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I didn't know my man Josh Sneed was going to be on it for the 800th.
It's an honor. I mean, it's an honor on any episode, but congratulations, you guys.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you big time.
incredible.
First off, before we get going, going down the road of all good things, my shirt right here, Chinch. Remember when I got this? You're like, oh, I love that shirt. Remember, I got it a year ago or 2 years ago. And dude, everywhere I go, especially when I'm in Cincy, like if I wear this, people are like, oh, great team. I don't even think they recognize me. They're like, great team. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So, dude, this is Sneed's company, the Cincy shirts. Dude, take us through when you started this. It was years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, 05 is when our first t-shirt company started, and I was on the road doing stand-up, but I knew at some point I'd have a family, and I didn't want to be gone all the time. So a good friend of mine, Darren Overholzer, and I had this idea to do funny t-shirts. And there was a lot of pop culture stuff, movie quotes, Randy Watson Coming to America, that kind of stuff. And then as we started to grow, the first time we actually got press was I'm sorry, Casey, but we had a shirt that said, "Even God hates the Steelers." That was the shirt. That was the shirt that got us in the newspaper the first time.
Oh my God.
And so we started to build a local following, and being from here, I had an affinity for all the businesses that I remember when I was a kid that aren't around anymore, all the amusement park rides and everything else. So we started adding Cincy stuff to our funny t-shirt site, and it just took off. So we created Cincy shirts, and now fast forward today, we got 2 stores here in Cincinnati people can go to, and then we have our other brands. In the Clutch is the other one people on here might enjoy. It's our sports brand, but it's national. So if you're into baseball, we have a MLB PA license, and you can find all your favorite players at intheclutch.com.
That's awesome. Well, dude, and I also, too, I want to get on the Reds really quick for a second. I know you're a big Reds fan. Obviously, I'm following just like you're following. Like, what do you like about the team this year? Have you been to a ton of games? I know you and your kids are probably locked down watching it.
We're locked in from, the road most of the time. My kid's 14. He's playing travel ball. So that eats up a lot of Reds game time. But I have no problems with that whatsoever. But I love this team. I really love this team. And I just think they're a piece or two away from really competing. I think that there's a window. Ellie's so fun. Andrew Abbott's a dog. Like, if Hunter gets healthy and stays healthy, and just a couple of these guys live up to their potential, I think Noelvi Marte is like, for what happened with him, I still think not enough people are talking about how good he can be, and I think he could be a real superstar. But if they get Suarez back, that's the rumor going around.
I know, I saw that.
Trying to get him back. And they add a piece or two. I love Emilio Pagan. If we had one more guy like him at the back of the rotation or the back of the bullpen to lock down that 8th and 9th inning, I would be very happy about that. But I'm always optimistic. And like I said, I'm just happy that we're even talking about him this late in the season.
Yeah. See, Chinch, real Reds fan. This is a real Reds fan. We know Josh is a big time superstar and all that stuff. Actually, he's a real Reds fan at heart.
Dude, it's
Die
great.
hard.
By the way, have you ever done the opening day thing? I've never gone out with Sean. Like, opening day in Cincy is like so different than anything.
Give us your
Yeah.
best opening day story from Josh Sneed's life.
So not to plug another t-shirt company again,
Go, keep
but
it going, dude. Keep it
when
going.
we first started the t-shirt company, we were just trying to get the word out about it. And so we went down to Fountain Square, which is right in the middle of downtown. It's where everybody kind of congregates, and it's near the end of the big opening day parade, of which, Sean, you've been
Yeah.
Grand Marshal of.
The
the
Grand
parade.
Marshal a couple years
I mean,
ago.
that's the honor.
It was incredible, dude. It was incredible.
So
I was
we're
at Over
down
the
there.
Rhine too. I was like, "Is everybody all right?" They're like, "Yeah, it's getting nice over here."
That's a local reference. People are gonna love that one around here. So we're down there, and we're gonna tell everybody about this new t-shirt company, and we have probably 1,000 postcards and maybe 20 t-shirts. So we start pulling stuff out of the backpack. The t-shirts go immediately, and then we've got these postcards. No one wants them. No one wants anything to do with, like, no, I'm good, man. I was gonna try to get a free t-shirt, but I don't want your dumb postcard. So I'm like, what do we do? So I tell Darren, I go, let's hop in the parade. And so we act like we're crossing the street in between two floats, but we don't cross the street. We just turn and start walking with the parade. And when you're in the parade, you can't give away stuff fast enough. So all these hands come out, and we just start handing out these postcards, and people couldn't grab them quick enough. And it was like 2 blocks. We were out of 1,000 postcards. It was insane. We get tickets to the game. We go down. We watch Mayor Mallory throw maybe the worst.
You were
That
there.
was
You were
the
there. You were there.
Yeah. The look on Eric Davis's face.
Yeah.
If you see it, the look on his face is so priceless. But it was the greatest. It was nice weather. I mean, it was the greatest opening day, and I hit 29 opening days in a row.
Wow.
I had a streak going.
Wow. Are you still? Is it still going?
No, it.
Oh, what
when
happened? Who broke the streak?
When we had the late start to the season, I made the COVID one, but the lockout put the Reds at a weird starting date at home, and I was booked on the road. I couldn't get out of it, and so I missed out.
Come on, lockout. What's wrong? What's up with the people? We know Sneed was trying to go his whole life.
That's
opening
right.
days. Trying to go his whole life.
It was circumstances out of my control.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I want to tap in really quick to like just you as your profession, being a stand-up comedian and doing it well. This industry is not an easy industry. It's almost like being in the big leagues or getting there, and you know you're a household name. Like, how did you first want to get into stand-up comedy? Were you expecting that you would be doing this for a living this long, having specials come out, and you know what was it?
Well, the first time I ever did comedy, it was only because I wanted to get on Saturday Night Live. Like, I thought, being in Cincinnati, I didn't know where to begin, but that was the goal, was to get on SNL. And so I did an open mic night, and I really enjoyed it. And just to try to get better, I started hanging out at the club, even when I wasn't performing, to just watch it. And then I just fell in love with stand-up. And though I tried, to whatever degree to continue the SNL dream, stand-up was plenty for me. And so I felt like I was good at it. People were giving me some good opportunities. I was young. I didn't have a family that I had to worry about, leaving behind at long periods of time. So it was just a perfect blend of like the time of my life, my age, and then the opportunities that were presented to me, that it just kind of took off. And when I quit Procter and Gamble to do stand up full time, that next year I was gone 50 out of 52 weeks.
Wow.
And so just the stage time helped me get better, helped me meet people. And then from that point, I was just kind of off and running. And then, what was nice was that I was able to stay in Cincy and not have to move to New York or LA to have a career, so I was able to get, a special on Comedy Central, and then a record deal from Comedy Central. And it was like every year there was just something that told me I could keep going and still live here in Cincinnati. And then obviously with starting the business and starting a family, it's been like a real blessing to be able to have like a career in the entertainment industry and not have to leave here.
Dude, that's incredible. That's incredible. And when you're talking about that, having the specials on Comedy Central, coming out with the new special Fat Ryan, like, is your mind going all the time 24/7 about, oh, that's a good bit. Oh, that's a good bit. Oh, let me write that down. Like, do you sleep? Like, I'd be going crazy.
I do send myself a number of emails or text messages when I don't want to forget something. I think your brain after a while just starts to become more observational. And then people are hypersensitive when they know that's what you do and they're around you. So if they do something somewhat embarrassing, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to end up in Josh's act now."
Yeah.
It's like, you're probably not, but I'm going to make a note about it just in case I change my mind.
How do you navigate? Like, I mean, I'm obsessed with you guys. If I could redo my life, I just love what you guys do. I think it's amazing comedy, and I think there's so much like mental like gymnastics that go into it for you guys every day. But nowadays, like I listen to every one of you talking about like how do you navigate social media now, because it's got to be on there, but you don't want to give away stuff you're working out, but then there's the fans in there who are like, oh, Matt Sneed, and they record a joke that maybe you're like in the first stage of, and you find it on YouTube and it blows up. I mean, do you like, I hear some guys saying like, oh, I'll put my crowd work out there because that's kind of like ad lib stuff. Like, is that kind of in the front or the back of your mind when you're out there and you see somebody throw a camera up and you're like, damn it?
Yeah, I don't love that. And most clubs will, like most of the places I work, luckily will shut that down if they see someone recording. But it is a balance that I haven't figured out, Like some guys are just so prolific that they can just record their set from this weekend and put all of it next week on social media because they'll do something different the weekend after. Like I'm more of a slow process. Like, I don't want to use the term curated, but I like to have a few years between specials instead of like one a year where it constantly feels like you're just nonstop cranking out material. The crowd work thing is a difficult one because it is unique, it is material you don't have to worry about burning online. But I also feel like it's gotten to a point where it's creating a bad comedy club audience member, and people think that's what they're supposed to do because all of the clips they see online are the interaction with the audience. And I prefer to just do my act. I'll do crowd work or I'll handle it in the moment if I have to, but my preference is to just do my set because I work on like timing and callbacks, and I want my show to feel like a 45-minute story instead of like 9 5-minute bits. You know what I mean? And when you have that kind of an act, you kind of want to be able to control the tempo and not get interrupted at a bad moment.
Makes sense.
Dude, what do you do with that kind of stuff? Because I must admit, when we go see guys and that happens, or you see a clip like that, like I actually want to fight those people. Like, what are those people doing? What are we doing? Going to your bit and then, talking shit or saying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on when they do it, because if it's like right before a punchline you've been building up to, like that's heartbreaking. If it's kind of in a lull in between, two parts of your act, it's a little easier to handle. But I feel like people associate someone who's drunk and just being loud with the classic definition of a heckler, which was someone who would think that they could best the comedian, and if the comedian bested them they would kind of tip their hat and shut up. That's not what hecklers are these days. Hecklers these days are the bachelorette party who got hammered at Wet Willie's before the show started, and they want the show to be about them. So no matter how good you are at making fun of them or how good your comeback is, they're not going to shut up. They're going to have to be kicked out. So it would be different if there was this sort of understanding that if you get addressed and the comedian deals with it, that you be quiet the rest of the show. It's just typically not how it goes.
Jeez, who's been the biggest influence? Like, in comedians, you've worked with some of the greatest. I mean, you've opened up for Ron White, you've opened up for Chappelle, you've opened up for some heavy hitters, and obviously you're a heavy hitter yourself. So it's not just about opening up. But I'm saying, who have been some of the guys? Why Chappelle? First off, I want to know why do all comedians love Chappelle? And secondly, who's been one of your couple biggest influences on you and your stand-up?
I mean, Chappelle for both of those. Like Chappelle is, I mean, you just watch him. There's even after doing this almost 30 years, there's still comics I watch and I go, I could never do that. Or why am I trying to do this? Because Chappelle is he has become, I don't want to discredit his comedy, but he's almost a monologist in like a one-man show, because the way that he weaves in these really high-level polarizing topics and breaks them down into comedy, like I don't even risk talking about that stuff, let alone trying to make it funny. And so when you see somebody do it at maybe the greatest of all time level, like I'm always in awe of watching him. Bill Burr, Brian Regan, Mitch Hedberg was my all-time favorite. He was super nice to me. He was the first comic to take me out on the road to open for him, and I find it funny because I'm at the age now where young comics come to me and they hear me talk about working with, Jim Gaffigan or Ron White or Mitch Hedberg, and they have these eyes like they can't even believe someone got to work with them. And to me, it's like just a story from when I was a younger comic. But I remember being that younger comic and hearing people say, oh, I used to work with Bill Hicks or George Carlin or Sam Kinison, and I couldn't wrap my brain around that someone actually got to do that. So it kind of makes me feel a little bit old, but the stories are certainly fun to share.
Was Mitch like that when he wasn't on the screen? Was like that could you, like, it's almost like he had, like, just seeing him walking, you could hear, like, music behind him. That was like that chill, like,
The bass getting played.
Yeah.
He was the best. And how nice he was to me. So basically, like when you're a comic trying to get out onto the road and you don't have a way into these clubs, a lot of times it'll take a headliner to request you to be their opener, and that's how you get your foot in the door. And so when I was leaving Procter and Gamble, Mitch was like, what clubs are you trying to get into that you can't? And I would say Houston or Seattle or Atlanta, and he would call the club and book a date just to get me in there. And it was like that, like when your favorite comic takes a liking to you or does those kind of things for you, it's absolutely surreal. And the thing with Mitch is his style is so unique, and his cadence and his voice, that when you spend a lot of time with him, you start to write like him. And so I would write these silly one-liners that made sense in Mitch's voice, but not in mine. And I tried to give them to him one day. I go, hey man, I wrote these jokes. I think they're funny, but they would make a lot more sense if you said them instead of me. And he goes, no, they're your jokes. You do them. And I go, well, then nobody will do them because they don't make sense in my act. So later that night, we're at the comedy club, and about halfway through his set, he's like, hey, you guys remember Josh? Josh, you still in here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the back. And he goes, hey, Josh wrote jokes for me, but he don't want to do them, so I'm going to make him come up and do the jokes he wrote for me. And so everybody cheers, and I go back on stage, and then I get into my impression of him. I close my eyes, I get right up on the mic, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And everybody's like cracking up. And then I did the jokes I wrote for him as him, and everybody loved it. And from that night on, whenever I would do a show with him, he'd call me up in the middle, and I'd do my Mitch jokes that I wrote. And it was always like surreal for me.
That's so cool.
So great, dude. It's so great. Nothing like, it's, I think about when you say that, like a guy like meeting Will Clark for the first time when I, met him, like, you guys you loved. He was the reason I wanted to play in the big leagues. He was the reason I wore number 22 in high school. And, and then getting to meet him after my third year in the big leagues, I got introduced to him at, Greg Lynn introduced me to him, who was our trainer. He used to be the trainer in San Fran for the Thrill. And he's like, hey, you want to meet the Thrill? I'm like, are you serious? I was so kind of nervous. I'm like, I hope he's a good guy. Like, I don't want to be that. Please be nice. Please be. And he was so nice. And sent me a bat after the game, but I literally was like a little kid, and I was like just so grateful to meet with. There you go, dude. The thrill.
Dude, he was my favorite non-Reds player of all time.
Was he, dude? Why did you love him?
Swing, man.
The swing, the cape,
The swing.
the cape.
I remember this episode of Sports Center where Dan Patrick was doing a highlight and Will Clark hits a home run and Dan Patrick just times it perfect and he goes, "I'm bad." And he like Will Clark was just like, "I'm not even looking at it. I know it's gone." And I still quote that to this day, and it was probably 25 years ago. Dude, the Will Clark, somebody, I was in a golf outing and somebody who played baseball with him in college said his answering machine in college used to just say, "The thrill is gone." Beep. That's it. That was the whole answering machine message. The thrill is gone.
So great, dude. It's so great. We had him on, Sneed, we had him on here. What was it, about a year ago, Chinch, year and a half ago? He comes on, you know, look at you. You got a nice mic. You know the gig. You got the camera. Chinch got his. I got a Rode mic. Although my camera's going nuts today. Whatever. We got shades in the background or whatever. But Will Clark shows up in the dugout, pulls his phone out. He's like this, and I'm like, "Hey, are you good for an hour?" Like we were doing hours back then, you know. He goes, "Let's roll. Let it rip." So I'm thinking, like, dude, when I do that, I do that sometimes. 5 minutes max. My shoulder just teres minor and the bursa sac go into overdrive. Like, I got to switch hands. Chinch, am I lying when I say, did he switch hands for an hour?
He just like this the whole time. Every other word an F-bomb, and he just kept singing still the entire time. It's great.
1 hour.
I wasn't going to comment on your camera case. I wasn't going to comment on it, but it does look like you're trying to steal HBO in the late 80s. You remember that?
Yeah.
You'd see a little bit. You just get the lines going through, and you're like, ah.
I'm like, oh, it's Top Gun. It's Top Gun. Look, there's Goose. I know. It's so bootleg. I can't figure it out. I was on Golic and Golic the other day, 2 days ago, and like it's going, and I was like kind of embarrassing. And they're like, "Hey, bring on Sean Case." I'm like, "Hey guys, I just got one of the most bootleg cameras I guess ever right now. I just have lines going through it."
I love it.
So ridiculous. Bro, you're a big wrestling fan, as am I. And we lost a legend yesterday. I think Chinch is too. I think Chinch, I think you're all right, dude? Are you all right?
Hero. I would never eat vitamins if it weren't for him, and I would never say my prayers if it weren't for Hulk Hogan, dude. I was devastated yesterday.
Dude, I don't know why. I think all of us, I think the country was a little devastated yesterday.
I think it was also like we're all similar age. Like, I mean, that was when things were innocent and we were young, and like this guy was a superhero. I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a rough week, you know. Ozzy, Theo Huxtable,
right?
Hogan. I mean, this is core childhood memories right here.
Yeah, it's devastating.
I don't follow it as much as I used to, but I really did a deep dive with some of my buddies yesterday that when we were in college, we were deep into the wrestling, and our favorite thing to do, I feel like you'll appreciate this, Case.
Yes,
we used to go to events in other cities, like big wrestling events, and we had signs that were only meant to piss off whatever city we were in. That was the only goal that we had. We rooted for all the heels, and we had the craziest signs. And
do you remember any of them?
God, yeah, I remember all of them.
Tell me a couple.
My favorite one, which is perfect for this podcast because it's a real deep cut. We were in Louisville, and we had a sign that said Easton makes a better bat. We had Lee's famous recipe chicken. We had Muhammad Ali has the shakes. We had horse racing is fake. The other good one was in Detroit. We had a sign that said support foreign automakers. And
people were just booing you guys.
Oh God, that one. It was King of the Ring. We had to get it escorted out because so many people wanted to fight us.
My gosh, dude!
Joe
in
Louis
Detroit,
Arena.
You can't do that in Detroit. They're the Motor City. They'll come after you.
Yeah, we had to watch. We were lucky actually because the security they made us come. We were up near the top, and they were like, "Come on, guys!" And so everybody's booing us as we're going down the steps. And the guy's like, "You didn't do anything illegal, but for your safety, we need to get you out of here." So he took us down to floor level in like the hallway, and he let us watch the rest of the event from right there, so that as soon as it was over, we could be the first ones out the door.
My
But that
gosh,
was the only time I was ever like, I thought
scared.
something was going to go down. Like, people were that mad.
And,
Yeah.
and the wrestling crew, like they're like kind of like hardworking people. They're not like, you know what I mean? It's not like the Legends Club at the Yankees.
That's right.
You're at WWE
It's not-
Raw or
yeah.
SmackDown and you see a sign that says support foreign auto workers, you're actually going after it. They're now a wrestler.
Yeah. It's very accurate. I remember one time we were at ECW and we had
Yeah, dude, in Philly? In Philly?
They came to Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we snuck a dry erase board into the thing. And so we were making signs up as we went, as the night went. Oh man, it was fantastic. Those were the days, dude.
Those were the days. Dude, I remember going to a match. Remember Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin?
Yeah.
Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin versus Flair, versus Ric Flair. I was so excited, dude. We're at the Civic Arena here in Pittsburgh. I'm in 7th grade, 8th grade. I'm with a guy named Matt Curdy, Tim McGarvey, and Matt Murray. And we go, and Mike Junko. We go and we sneak in a bunch of tape, and we're making tape balls. And we're just ripping them into the ring, dude. I can't believe. Can you imagine doing that now? We're making tape balls. We have all this tape. We're probably like 40 rows back. We're not even close. But we're ripping tape into the ring, and I get back. Sneed, I let one rip. Boom! It hits Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin right in the head. He like looks out, and next thing you know, bam! Security guys like, you guys got to go. I'm like, what?
No.
I was like, Sneed's got signs in Detroit. I'm just throwing tape balls.
Dude, we went to one in it was outside of Louisville. Terry Funk had a gym down there, and it was bring your own weapon night. And the whole audience shows up with these like one guy had a mag flashlight duct taped to the end of a wiffle ball bat. That's what he brought. And the wrestlers would get out into the crowd and just grab a weapon from somebody and start beating each other with it. And it was a 4 corners of death match where on the floor outside each side of the ring was like a sandbox of like light bulbs, thumbtacks, mouse traps, and broken glass. And it was just pure chaos. It's the greatest time of my life.
Yeah, it's the greatest, dude. Hey, have you ever got, HWA? Do you ever go to HWA, Heartland Wrestling Association?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, so in 2000, when I was with the Reds, dude, I swear to God that I was like, I'm so glad that I made it to the big leagues so I can meet wrestlers. That was honestly about. Little Sean Casey was like, I've met Hogan. I've been chopped by John Cena. I punched Chris Jericho fake one time. He wanted to fight me. I've been in the ring. Dude, in 2000, when Vince McMahon bought WCW, they all came to HWA in Cincy. And so, dude, I got to know some of these guys, and I would go over to where they would. I don't know if you ever went was it like a Tuesday night? You get 2 slices of Papa John's pizza, Mountain Dew. You grab a chair. There's 20 chairs around, and I would sit there in the off season and watch. And one day that Val Venus, it was like Val Venus, Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero was there all the time.
All the time, dude. It was incredible. And they asked me, Sneed, one time they said, hey, man, come in for practice. So they were in the ring, bro. And they had 30 dudes in the ring. Umaga, all these guys. So what they were doing was the block punch. So one guy's in the middle. There's 30 wrestlers around the ring. And here comes Umaga's. Boom, block, punch, block, punch. Every guy from every angle. So they're like, Case, get in here and go. I was like, no way. Get in here and go. I'm like, oh my God, I got jeans on, t-shirt. I'm like, let's get it on. So here comes, bro, dude, I'm exhausted. I'm on a cardiac arrest. I've hit 11 guys. I got 19 to go. Get to number 18. Here comes Val Venus. Val Venus comes, block, punch him right in the face. I couldn't pull the punch back. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, don't worry about it. And I got seriously, 6 other guys coming at me, but it was HWA, bro.
Oh, man, Mike Sanders and
Mike Sanders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike Sanders and Eddie Guerrero, and then Mark Jindrak, they came to the comedy club all the time. And that was right when I was like starting to MC. I was there at least once a month. They would show up, and that's how I got to be such good friends with Mike.
Mike Sanders. Oh, that dude, he was a monster. He was a monster. And tell me about, I know Chris Canyon, late Chris Canyon.
Yeah. So Chris Canyon is he's the genesis of the fantasy football league that I'm in. It's the Canyon Cup, and it's all people who knew Canyon or were tight with people who were tight with him. So Shane Helms, the Hurricane.
The Hurricane.
He's in the league. He's become a real good friend. Luke Hawks, a wrestler out of New Orleans, who's in a ton of Hollywood movies. He plays young Stone Cold on Young Rock.
Oh, does he? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that show's great too.
It's fantastic.
My wife was like, when I got remarried about a year and a half ago, and a few years back when we first met, I was watching Young Rock. She's like, is this one of your favorite? I was like, yeah, you gotta love this. I'm like, I know you don't know me that well, but I love wrestling, and this is a great show right here.
You gotta be on board with this.
If you're not on board with Young Rock, we're gonna have to rethink this whole thing.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. Kevin Keenan, he was a referee who was real tight with him. I don't know if you remember that final deletion match with the Hardy Boys. He was the referee in that.
Delete.
Yeah, it was a bunch. It's a bunch of guys, and we all came together over our friendship with Chris. And so, the Canyon Cup is the text thread is active 365 days a year. We have this awesome belt that Shane Helms had made. So whoever wins the league holds the belt for a year. Sean Ross Sapp, who's the writer from Fightful. A lot of good dudes in it, but it's fun.
Awesome.
It keeps the memories alive.
Keeps everybody together. Yeah, no, it's great, dude. That's really, really great. Oh man. So what do you got going on, soon? I mean, are you out on the road? And also too, I know you have a 14-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter. Are you trying to not go on the road as much now? I know you're traveling a little bit with baseball and stuff, but
so I take summers off when they're out of school. I don't do any traveling for stand-up. And so as they start to go back to school next month, I'll start hitting the road again. I'm very aware of being a parent. There's certainly at ages now that make it a little bit easier to be gone. I was home a lot during their formative years because I didn't want to miss the first anything, but now they have their devices, so it's not as big of a deal. It's not as big of a deal if dad's gone for a couple days.
Are they funny? Do they have the comedy gene? Is one funnier than the other?
Yeah, my daughter.
Really?
My daughter, I would not have seen that coming, but my daughter has the comedy bone for sure. She has the timing. She has the wit. I mean, just the stuff she says, like sometimes it's not even funny, but just the fact I know her brain works in a certain way, like the one I say on the special is, there was a Saturday morning, we're all hanging out and she's running around in her nightgown. She goes, Dad, I'm going to go get dressed. And I'm like, all right, great. And she runs up to her room. She comes back like 20 minutes later, still in her PJs. And I said, I thought you were changing your clothes. And she goes, the only thing I changed was my mind. And I was like, what? Like, okay, Socrates. Like, I was just wondering why you don't have pants on yet, but if we're going to get deep like that, I guess. But she says stuff like that all the time, And I tell people, I'm like, I will not be surprised if she grows up to be a comedian.
Dude, that's so great.
She has that thing that when people laugh, I can see her. Like, it's like the endorphin for her, which is what I have. It's like when you get somebody going, you like put your foot on the gas, and that's how she is. I can tell that's her thing. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you.
That's so great, dude. That's so great.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, all our listeners know that the last 5 weeks, as Ken Griffey Jr. called me and said, you're probably going to be in hell for a few of these weeks after you have hamstring reattachment surgery from playing with the Savannah Bananas. And you were there. You got to witness it. Dude, from your point of view, what did you see?
So I'm losing my mind, right? Because you're up to bat. Like, I'd seen Frazier before the game, so I knew he was going to be there. And then you come out, and I'm like, this is fantastic. And I was just praying for a hit. That's
I just wanted one. If I had one pitch, Sneed, I practiced for a month. I'm like, if you give me one pitch, I'm hitting a rocket sign.
I know. I could tell. I was like, he's eating this up, and I just want and you rounded first, and I just saw your hand just kind of lightly grab the back of your leg, and I told my wife, I go, he just got hurt. I was like, I'm telling you, I don't know if I didn't think it was you tore your hamstring
Right.
off, but I
Me
thought it
neither.
was you like pulled it or something. But I was like, he just got hurt. And then I saw you motion for a runner. And like a champ, you still get off the field without hobbling. But I was like, when I saw the news the next day, I go, I told you. I could have called it, man.
Dude, so I'm like the gatekeeper when anybody ever wants news on Sean Casey these days. So my phone, I'm watching it live with my wife, and my wife is also very funny, and she just turned, she goes, I think he just pulled his ass. Like, I definitely think he just pulled his ass. And I was like, I don't know, that was weird because you saw the like glitch. It was like it was like your camera not working. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, nah, I'm sure he's fine. He'll text me if anything. Then next thing I know, my phone is just blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. Because I think the next day, who was it, Casey? Jim Day or somebody on a broadcast says, I think Sean
Yeah,
Casey.
Jim Day said it. He called me.
So now my phone just breaks. And now I got people from like MLB Network like, hey, we haven't heard from Sean. Is he okay? And I'm like, he's got to be fine. He would have texted me. And then finally, I texted Sean in like the middle of the day. Next day, he's like, it's torn. It's gone. Surgery Thursday, Friday, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, he really did it. It was terrible.
It was terrible, dude. How about on some of the posts, like injury? And I'm thinking, oh, who's injured? LeBron? Sean Casey at the band. Who cares? Guy's 50 years old, trying to stretch a single and a double, couldn't run anyhow, blows his hamstring off the bone, injury.
Can I tell you, this is going to sound like a dig. It is a compliment. I think that's why people love you so much, is because the things that happen when you play baseball, we're like, I could see that happening to me. I could see myself being thrown out at
From
first base from left field. Like, that's very relatable. I want that guy to be my best friend because I get it.
It's so true.
You felt my pain. Like,
He's
that
one
could
of
actually
us.
happen to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know who came up to me the next day and said that? Jim Tomey. And I'm like, and I know Jim was like, I think he felt the same vulnerability we feel at Sneed. Like, that could actually happen to me. He was like, I feel so bad, Case. That could happen to any of us. Me too. I go, Jimmy.
But I love that you tried hard enough to get hurt. Like when I go to like Reds fantasy camp, I tell the rookies, I go, the best thing you can do this week is not try, because you'll still be standing at the end of the week. You get these guys who are 55, 60, 65, and they've been training all winter at a batting cage, and then they get out there and they pull their hammy or
That's it.
or tear their oblique. I'm like, bro, you're not getting a contract out of this week. Why don't you just have some fun and jog? Who cares if you got out?
It's so true.
It's so true.
The only place this batting average is going is on the back of a replica baseball card that no one is going to want. So why don't you just have fun while you're out?
Awesome. So true. I've gone down to fantasy camp with Ed Vedder and Chris Chelios do the Cubs fantasy camp.
Yeah.
And I got to get down to the Reds fantasy camp. I know
You have
Gravy
to.
does it. I know Harnish does. They're all like, I got to get down. I know Kearnsey does it.
Homer?
Do you do that every year, Sneak?
I do. Yeah.
Dude, I got to get I heard it's a great time.
It's the best. That's how I got all this. That's how I got the pig reference about you, is because I played on Tom Hume and Danny Graves' team. I was their top draft pick, not because of my skill, but because we just laugh the whole time. And so I got insight on everybody. Those are two of my absolute, like you, Tom Hume and Danny Graves are three of my absolute favorite people.
We had Tom Hugh on once, and he got on before Sean did, like, and we were setting up, and he goes, "Where's that pig you work with?"
Pig?
I was like, because he looks so professional and nice. He's got his glasses, and like he looks like a professor. And he's like, "That's a total pig. I can't believe you do a show with him." I'm like,
I used to call everybody. I got it from Pete Harnish. As a matter of fact, it was at our fantasy football draft. We still have the Cincinnati Reds, former Reds team. We still have the league going. 1999, we started this year in this jersey. We were in like a Weston or something in Cincy, I think. I can't remember. And we were going around, and everybody you would take, like I'd be like, "Oh, I'm taking Terrell Davis," and Harnish would go, "Pig, he's a pig." I'm like, "This is Chris." Everyone's like, "No, it's so funny." You know, Harnish was the best. So, dude, I just started took it, and everyone like, "Dad, what's up, pig?" Yeah, you're a pig, you know what I mean? And then it stuck. And it was so funny. I'd be like, when Booney, I'd go to Booney's, I go, bro, you're an absolute slob. So I go like, and so like whenever Booney texts me, he'd be like, what's up, slob?
I told when I saw you on the MLB Network, because I've become buddies with Roflo.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
told I
Rofo's the best.
go when you're at the next break, call him a pig,
Yeah.
and he goes, yeah, whoever said that, they know me, they know me. He couldn't believe that like you would get that, just that one word reference. I'm like, he'll know.
That's all I do. You say pig, I know you're in my close circle. If you say pig, you're in my close circle. And it's so funny. Lark will do the same. Barry Lark will do the same. What's up, slob? That's so funny. Pig and slob.
Wild.
Oh man, Sneed, you are the best, dude. Listen, where can our listeners find you? Where can let us tell us.
So Disruptor Comedy is where you'll find the new special, disruptorcomedy.com. Probably another week or so, then you'll see it on Amazon, iTunes, and then in a month or so it'll find its way to Amazon Prime and YouTube. But go spend $7 and watch it. I'm really proud of it. I shot it here in Cincinnati, Memorial Hall, and it just came out so great. And I think people will really like it. But disruptorcomedy.com for the new special, Fat Ryan, and then at Josh Sneed on whatever social media platform. Check out my tour dates. I'm going all around, so if you see me in your neck of the woods, come out and see a show. Sean came when I was in Pittsburgh. It's one of my favorite comedy club memories. Came out to the show, brought me one of his bats with a Skyline Chili reference written on it, and then we went to the Dueling Piano Bar next door
That was awesome.
and closed it down. And they gave us the last pick. They said, you guys can pick the last song of the night, and we picked Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and we had the entire bar singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It's a core memory for me.
Oh, so great, dude. I remember that was so great. I mean, bro, you are so funny. Your stand-ups incredible. I've appreciated our friendship over the years, man, more than anything. But for anybody out there that hasn't seen Josh in person at stand-up, go check him out. He's incredible. But also the new special, Fat Ryan. I can't wait I'm going to pay the $7. I know Chinch is too. We can't wait to lock it in, dude. But can't wait to see you soon. Hopefully the Red Legs keep playing well and get to the postseason this year with my man Terry Francona.
Yeah.
Sitting there. Did I do it really quick before we go? Did I ever tell you my Terry Francona story when I was in Boston? Have you ever heard this story?
No.
Okay, you'll love this story. You're the one guy. I gotta say it's Chinch before we go.
Yeah.
So Sneed, I'm coming back, dude. You know what? You're exactly right. Maybe people did like me because I was like just like the guy next door. Like I hurt my hip flexor, so I'm on the IL, coming off my hip flexor, trying to score around third. Bam! There goes the hip flexor. I'm like, why do things just keep popping off my body? So this is 2008. I'm in Tampa. Bam! So I go on the IL. I'm coming back, and I'm like, I know it's the last year of my career because I'm ready to be done. But I'm having a great year in Boston, really enjoying it. So I come off the IL. I'm probably not totally ready, but I really don't care. I'm good enough to play. Wrap it up. So I come back first day against Baltimore in the box. Bam, I get a sinker down way. Wham, hit a bullet off the monster. I'm like, oh, baby, that's two. So I'm rounding first. I get about halfway. Left fielder grabs it. He's coming up throwing. I was like, uh-oh, that's not as far away as I thought. Looks like I'm going to be thrown out in second. Bam, I'm out by like 10 feet. Boom, run back in. All the fans are like, you're slow. Stay at first. And I'm like, man, maybe they're right. That's, I just bad read there, bad read. So the next day I get another start. And I hit a rocket in the gap in Fenway, just a bullet, screaming liner. I'm like, oh, that's gone. But it's on a line, so it's like, I'm pretty sure. So I got a little bit of it's gone, a little bit of I'm slow, or maybe a lot of them slow, and then a little bit of hip flexor is not 100% healthy. So I'm rounding, I'm first. Sneed, this ball's in the gap. It's not like, this is like getting thrown out from left. This ball's in the gap. So I'm like, I'm rounding first. The ball hits the top of the fence, goes into the padding, flies off. Nick Markakis, the right fielder, he's a rookie at the time, comes up, bare hand lefty, all in one motion, comes up throwing. And I'm like, oh, we got a situation here again. 2 days in a row, we got a situation. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't turn back. Like, I'm halfway there. Markakis comes up, play it second, bam, I'm out again. It's not, oh my God, I come in, I'm like, geez, you got to be kidding me. So I go sit down in the dugout. I'm actually pissed off now. Go sit down in the dugout. I'm like, I got to embarrass myself out there. So I'm sitting there, and Tito's got his big chaw, and, Levi Garrett going, and, he's got big 6 pieces of bazooka, like, and He waits like 2 minutes, and he could see me stewing. He's like, Case, can I talk to you real quick? I'm thinking, what's this guy want to talk about? So I go over like, yeah, what's up? What's up, Tito? He's like, hey, listen. He's like, have you been to the doctor lately? I was like, no, why? He's like, is there any chance you might have polio?
Dude, I got one quick one for you because I love that. I love when the one line just gets you.
Yeah.
Jim Maloney, who I know you know,
Oh, love
is
Jim
like
Maloney. Nuts.
so low key, one of the funniest people I've ever met. So he's my coach last year at fantasy camp, and he's coaching first base. And so I go 2 straight games without getting on base. Like it was frustrating, like really, really, really frustrating. So I finally get a hit and I get down to first base and he just looks at me and he goes, fancy seeing you here. I was like, Jim, please don't be funnier than me. I'm like, fancy seeing
Oh,
you
he's the
here.
best. Oh, he's
Oh
the best.
God. All right,
Oh,
man.
man. Brother, thanks a lot, man. We'll catch you down the road here soon. And don't be surprised to see Chinch and I asking for tickets in the we want good seats. And get them for you.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right,
boys.
man. See you, brother. Take care of yourself.